First, there is one every county, pretty much in every region, I should say, in West Virginia. And Jobs and Hope West Virginia partners with the West Virginia workforce for immediate employment. So if one of our participants is looking for a job just to get through right now, not career employment, but they can find career employment through there. But like that's the agency that we refer to for resumes, job assistance, anything that they need. So I think what Deb does is she gets employers. So she's going to tell us more about that, which I'm excited to learn. This is a new position for her, and I'm excited to work with her. So I am going to. Do you have a presentation, Deb?
Yes, I'm going to have to be able to share my screen.
Okay, great.
And what I'm using is a PowerPoint that we use a lot. Some of the information might be a little bit outdated as far as numbers are concerned. Let me see. How do I share my screen from here?
Should be a button on the bottom. It says share.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Deb Lorenz. I'm with Workforce West Virginia. I was with the Division of Rehabilitation Services for nearly 2 years. So some of you may have worked in that capacity with you. So I worked with individuals there. Now I work with employers. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you a short 45-second video to tell you what business services does. I'm a business services representative, and I'm going to get more into that here in a minute. So let me find the right screen here. Hold on. I've got several. Well, I have it up here. Hold on. Let me find out which tab it is. Workforce. Okay. Sorry about that. Usually I don't have this much trouble. I'm just going to go through all the tabs and.
I'm going to take the heat off me.
Well, I've got a video ready to go for you, but I just can't find the tab.
Okay, did you added her as a co-host, Jonathan?
It didn't ask me. Normally
Okay.
I don't have to. It just lets them share.
Okay,
Okay.
well,
Let me just share the entire screen. That might be easier.
Right,
Let me see. Let me see. I'll take that one off. You don't need that. For some reason, can you see the video here?
Yeah.
Workforce, a lady and a guy.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this video. It's a 45-second video. If you get an email from me, there's a link to this video underneath my signature line. So we'll start with this.
We don't have sound. We don't have sound.
No sound?
No.
If you
Okay.
hit, also you can make it full screen if you hit the square. And it might just be muted at the bottom here. No, it's on there.
It's on there. Let me try it again.
Okay. No, we can read the captions.
Captions are good.
I don't know. It says that the volume's on there.
Okay, so sorry you couldn't hear that. Let me find my PowerPoint. That might be best for you. I do not know why I'm having so many problems. There we go. There we go. So what I'm going to do, that was just a quick video to kind of tell you a little bit about what we do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through what we do as a team here at Workforce West Virginia. Now, when I came from the Division of Rehabilitation Services, I didn't know the difference between Workforce West Virginia, where I work, and Workforce that runs the American Job Center. Okay. So I'm with the state Workforce West Virginia. If you see the capital F in the middle of Workforce, that's the state. Okay. And if you see one word, that's Workforce with the American Job Center. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go through a lot of this. If you have questions, let me know. Just speak out because I can't see anything but this right now. I cannot see the chat. So at Workforce West Virginia, we provide employment opportunities statewide for all individuals. And we also, many people know us as, the unemployment office. You go there to get a job. I even have a job seeker account on Workforce West Virginia because I have used it in the past as a job seeker. Another thing that we do is we leverage government funding and partnerships to assist businesses. And I'm on the business end of that. And we enable businesses to grow and to be competitive in today's marketplace. What I do as a business services rep is I work with local businesses to make hiring easier. And so how I do that is I can help find qualified candidates for your business. I can tell you about no-cost services. I kind of work like a liaison between the business owner or the managers and Workforce West Virginia. So what I want to do is I want to make your hiring process easier by connecting you to services. And there are some services that I provide as well. So we want to help businesses thrive. And you might be surprised at some things that we have available here. I know that I was, and I thought I knew a little bit about Workforce, but I knew about this much when I came on board. So workforce development boards at the American Job Center over there at St. Joe Landing, they are established for 7 regions within West Virginia. Each board has an executive director to operate the American Job Centers. They work in collaboration with us. We do a lot of things hand in hand to kind of meet the same goals. And they are partners of the American Job Center. So they're not Workforce West Virginia. They're different than us, but we are partners. So we work together. If you want to get training, they have training for individuals over there. I know that when I worked in DRS, I would send my clients over there to get training opportunities. We would work hand in hand. Some things they couldn't provide for them and they'd send them to us. So a lot of times we were working together with the same individual. So what I do as a business services rep, again, connect job seekers or businesses to job seekers because we as Workforce connect job seekers to open positions. We serve as a bridge between employers and partner agencies. I just say I'm a liaison. That's the easiest way to think about that. I'm going to get into more detail here in a minute. So a lot of people I know use Indeed or temp agencies to advertise for jobs. I spoke to an employer the other day and their agency spends $3,000 a month on Indeed. We have a free job. I just say it's a free job board where employers list their jobs, job seekers can find jobs, and we charge nothing. Not a single service do we charge for. So a lot of employers will use us. Sometimes they'll still use Indeed or a temp agency along with us. I'm not telling you not to do that, but there is a big cost saving to using our job board. It's called the MAC. It's what we call it. So here it lists 25,000 plus job seekers. This PowerPoint was put together last year. Well, now it's 8/24, not last year anymore, right? And you could register on here. I can help you with that. I can tell you how to do that. And there's also a business services team. I'm going to put my email in there at the end so that you can reach out to me. Now, here's one way we can help you. Was there a question?
I have a question, Deb.
Sure.
I haven't been on the Mac for a while because we've switched databases for our program, but is the Mac more user friendly now for folks to sign into? Because I know that that is one of the main problems I think that some of the clients have.
The Mac has not changed in a very long time.
Okay.
But that's something that I can help you with. And I'll go ahead and jump ahead to that. The other day, I went to an employer. I went to SW Resources. They have individuals there who are looking for jobs. Even though this isn't technically the business services rep role, I'm still doing this with people. I help them to get registered with the MAC. I help them to get registered for the virtual job fair. So if you have some individuals and maybe you have a group of them, I'm okay with going over there and helping everybody get registered and helping everybody get signed into that, just to give you a little bit of a, and then you can watch. And after I do it a couple of times, then if you don't need me more, that's fine. But I'm willing to come over and help people get registered and to give them a little tutorial.
Okay, that'd be great. I know that'd be good for circles too, probably, and other agencies.
Yeah, I'm actually talking to Circles Monday evening, so I will be at Circles Monday evening.
Yeah. Okay, great.
I'm here with Deb. You probably can't see me, but it's Lisa.
Oh, hey, Lisa. No, I can't see you, but I hear you.
Will you be sharing with them how to sign up in the MAC and
yes, will they be on computers that night?
I can have some computers.
Okay. And I can work with a few at a time. That's what I did the other day when I worked over at SW. I worked with they didn't have a full room full of computers, so I worked with a few at a time. And we'll talk about the virtual job fair. I'm going to share the information for employers as well as individuals. Each time you got to sign up for each event, but we'll get into that. I'm getting ahead of myself. So if you're hiring as an employer, if you're hiring, we can host a hiring event here at our office at the Lakeview Center, or we can host a hiring event at your office or somewhere that you choose. And that helps. It's what we call job fairs. I always tell people that if you host it here, we've got an influx of traffic all the time here because people are doing their unemployment claims and everything at this office. We have a lot of people who walk in. Mondays are really, really busy, I've noticed. We have on-site computers. So if your individuals need computers or you need a computer, we have computers here for you. We do have interview areas. So if you want to actually do interviewing during the hiring event, we have areas here where you can interview the applicants. And we can also help increase the traffic. We can post on social media. We can send out emails. There are a lot of things that we can do to help, whether you're having a hiring event here or somewhere else. Now, this just shows the Workforce West Virginia office locations. I'm Region 4, which means I have Pleasance, Wood, Ritchie, Wirt, Jackson, Calhoun, Roane, Clay, and Mason counties. So I have a lot of ground to cover. So far, I've been in Wood County, and starting next week, I'm going to visit other counties. So if your business is in another county other than Wood County, I do have dedicated days where I visit other counties. And these are just some of the workforce locations. We don't have anyone in Morgantown right now. So what we do is we kind of pitch in. We have business service reps across the state. So once Morgantown has a business service rep in that position again, then they will work that position. But for right now, we just pitch in. If there's a location or an employer, I was talking to someone in Morgantown the other day. So we just help with that so that everybody gets served. Now I'm going to post this flyer in the chat. Well, can I upload it in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'll do is I'll do that at the end. this is what we really promote. We just had, well, the job fair is technically still going on. It ends today at 5, but once a month, we have a virtual job fair. Employers across the state are on it. We have job seekers from across the state on it. And once the first Wednesday of every month is our virtual live event from 1 o'clock till 3:30. And that means job seekers can go in, they can go into your virtual booth that you create on the site and ask questions. And you can ask questions. They upload resumes. The other day I had some individuals who didn't have Adobe, so they couldn't do the PDF form, but what they do, they can actually email them to you if they don't have the ability to do that. But they can go to all the jobs that are the employers that are in, or who are participating, and ask questions. And you can ask questions too. So what I love about it, I always tell people, sometimes you have someone who looks great on paper, but once you start chatting with them, you might find, well, maybe they're not a right fit, right? And then you might have some people, who just do better with the chat before the actual interview, and they're good at answering questions. And so that's a great way to get to know people. You can see who's looking for a job. They can ask you questions. We actually host the event, so sometimes we have people come into our booth and ask us some questions about how to find jobs. So you can see that, it's at that time, the highest number was 1,153. We may have exceeded that by now. I know we had a very good month for job seekers in our job fair this month. I don't have the numbers yet, but we had a lot of people participating. So. Now, if you want to participate in the job fair, you can go to the Workforce West Virginia website. I can show you what that looks like here in a bit. Well, actually, I could probably do that right now. This is what Workforce West Virginia looks like. And if you're a business, you just click on business. And it tells you about the number of services we had: find qualified workers, job fairs. If you want to participate in a job fair, there should be a link for the job fair. These are different hiring events that go on across the state. I don't know.
I think it's here.
Yeah. This one is what's going on right now. So you would click the one for February. And again, I can send that information to you. But if you look here, Charleston's having a construction and trades career fair. The Northern Regional Jail's having one in Moundsville. And if you look at all those, and if you're having a job fair, we can put yours up here too, if you're working with us. So that's, but this is a great resource for everybody. Recruit and hire veterans. If I put in your job, we call them job orders. If you're hiring for a position and you let me put it in, what I do is right away, I do a veteran search. And then if we have veterans who qualify, and we just kind of match it percentages to what you need, the location, and, do they have the qualifications? I send the veterans, or I do a job search for veterans first and put a hold on the job for 24 hours. And then the next day, open it up for other applicants. So if I do that, that's the benefit of having a business services. I'm just going to say BSR, a BSR do that for you. We can actually just customize all those applicants that we send to you. We can match them. We usually look for about 85% matching up to your job. So it can be education, experience, location. I usually do it anywhere between 10 and 15-mile radius of the job to see how many matching applicants we have. So there are different incentives for hiring veterans. I'm going to get the cheat sheet that somebody gave me the other day. You may have heard of the work opportunity tax credit. I know if you hire a veteran, and I thought I had all that information here. Maybe I don't. Let me go up here on my other cheat. It's going to be on the other screen, but I'm not going to share it with you. I can give you the link. But there's certain groups, and veterans are one of those groups where you can get what's called a work opportunity tax credit. I'm going to give you the link to the IRS because there are steps to follow, and people have to self-identify. But you can get tax credits for individuals who were formerly incarcerated or those previously convicted of a felony. Anybody who has state assistance under Part A of Title 4 of the Social Security Act, veterans, individuals who are part of voc rehab, and individuals who are getting public assistance. I mean, there's a long list of individuals. I forget what trying to figure out because I'm still learning this part. The maximum tax credit is generally $2,400. A 25% rate applies to wages for individuals who perform fewer than 400, but at least 1,200 hours of service. And I know.
Hey, Deb.
Yes.
Jobs and Hope partners with this on the job training sometimes. So a client will go through, they first have to go through, workforce, and it's usually like 400 some hours that are paid.
Mm-hmm.
And then they Jobs and Hope and they get 1,040 hours paid. So a lot of times employers get over a year of a person without having to pay their wages.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm still learning that part. Thank you for that. Because there's a lot to learn, and I don't have that down. But yeah, there are a lot of incentives there. So just if you can go through the website and just look at all the services that we can provide for you. Again, what I do is I create a relationship with local businesses. I work as a liaison, and I like to have the opportunity to post the jobs for you, so your applicants are pretty much customized to what you're looking, instead of looking at all the applicants on the website or on the Mac to see, who's available. I can send ones that have the qualifications to you.
I got another question. When a person signs up for the Mac and they put their information in, does it pull jobs up and send to them if it's like something in their wheelhouse?
So I know, well, when you sign, are you talking as a job seeker?
Yes.
So I know that I don't know that I can tell you how it works with me. Okay. And I apologize because I'm still learning the system.
I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I'm asking.
Oh, no. It's just, like I said, I'm still learning everything here. So if I put the job in and you as an applicant are matched to that job, say you're 100%, 90% match, I do a report and you get a phone call letting you know that you've matched with this job and you have the opportunity to apply for that job. Now, I think the interviewers here may reach out to you, but I'm not quite sure of that. I know that as a job seeker, when I had certain matches, I would sometimes get some feedback with some things I matched with, but I didn't apply for a lot of jobs as a job seeker through the Mac. So I'm not sure. I can find out though. That's one thing I need to find out. So. Okay. So let's go back with the job fair here. So with the virtual job fair, what we tell you to do to get the best results, number one, any open positions you have, put it in the Mac. Then you can look at the job seekers prior to the events. We have filters in there so that you can, find people who match your job. And then when the live event is taking place, you can engage them. I think you can actually send emails or send a chat message to them, even if they aren't online. I believe you can do that, and then they can get back with you. And we run the reports. That's something that Joel does, and I'm not quite sure and everything about that. He's our man for the job fair, and you can follow up and keep in touch with anybody who actually is looking for work. So we can also help you find candidates that you may not have considered. And you can see there youth, veterans, justice impacted, seniors, job seekers with barriers to employment. And again, we have people from all over. I mean, even from Ohio, because we're on the border here. And many parts of West Virginia lie on the border, so we may have people from Belpre or Marietta or other areas that are right there close to the border looking for jobs. So not only are you finding West Virginia job seekers, you're finding people that are close by who are just across the river there. Other services. The labor market information is great. I know that one of our other BSRs spoke with a business. She provided this example to me, and I think it was in the medical field. I believe it was nursing, and they kept losing employees to other businesses. Well, she did did a deep dive into the labor market information and found out, they were actually paying a lot less than some of their competitors. So they were able to add, maybe not completely come up to their competitors, but add a couple extra dollars per hour to their wages, and they were able to retain more employees. So we can look into things like that. Federal bonding. A lot of businesses don't know that we have access to the federal bonding program for 6 months. It's free. We can pay up to $10,000 in losses through that. Now, whenever I visit an employer, I give them the information for this. It's on our website as well, but it's a great program because sometimes people, they may want to hire you, or they might want to hire somebody, but they're kind of on do I want to take a chance? We can cover up to $10,000 for the first 6 months. It's all free. On the job training, that's where the American Job Center comes into play. There, they have programs. I think we're still doing a lot of OJTs, and obviously we can connect with the partner agencies. So here are some of our partner agencies. DRS. I don't know how familiar everyone is with DRS, but they work with individuals who have barriers to employment. I've spoken before, and now they're very selective with who they're helping. But any kind of a barrier can be anything from ADHD to someone who's confined to a wheelchair. So there's a big, they can cover a lot of people. Okay. Right now, I think they're still just working with people who have severe or who are considered severely disabled. There's a checklist they have to meet. But again, once some of those restrictions are lifted, they will have more people to place. The West Virginia Department of Education, local workforce development boards, obviously Jobs and Hope, West Virginia Department of Economic Development, and American Job Center. So you see that there were different places that we can make referrals and help you get connected. So solutions, training, finding a job, help to pay for utilities, food banks, having the right clothes for an interview or a job, resume writing, barriers to employment, second chance opportunities. All these are for the job seekers. I know that I sent a lot DRS. I sent a lot of my individuals over to the clothing closet at St. Joe Landing, and they were very happy to be able to get some clothes and have interview clothes and quite a few things. So This is what I know more about. Okay. So, our business services team, we can help with recruitment, job fairs. I can help, like I said, send applicants that are tailored to the job. Um, OJT, I would refer you to workforce development. I would refer you over to Justin over there at American Job Center. Federal bonding, we can help with that. I just went over that. Work opportunity tax credits, we can give you information about that. We can help you enroll or help you with a virtual job fair, but that's something you can do on your own. But we can help you if you don't know how to set up a booth. There are many tutorials in there, by the way. So if someone's not available right away, there's a tutorial. There are, I don't know, several videos in there to help you with that. Incumbent worker training, layoff aversion, labor market information, rapid response, and short time compensation. There are a lot of things that we can help with. With rapid response, if a business is going to close and have a lot of layoffs, then we come in and help those individuals so they can have a smoother transition from their layoff to employment. We give them information. We work with DRS, we work with workforce development. There are a lot of things that we do with that. There's the information. I'm going to actually send you my email in the chat. Let me get out of that. There we go. And I'm sorry, I know it was a lot of just going through a lot of screens, but long story short, what I do, develop relationships with local employers. I have a packet of information I'll bring over to you, and I'll ask you, are you hiring anybody? Is there anything that you need? What are some of the things that we can help you? Because we're there for the good, we're there for the difficult times. Everything we do is free. So.
Hey,
Who has
Deb.
questions? Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
I thank for your presentation. This is Kenny Matthews. I'm with American Friends Service Committee. I'm their West Virginia Economic Justice Associate. So I deal with a lot of issues at the Capitol around criminal law, recovery, reentry, employment, stuff like that. My question is this: about 2 years ago, the West Virginia legislature passed a bill that said all public companies that is underneath the Department of Labor can't do background checks until after an interview or an offer of employment is offered, and can't deny someone employment based off of their background unless there's a direct nexus to their offense versus what they were incarcerated or arrested for. Do you know if employers know about that, or do you work with employers that's underneath the Department of Labor as a public employer, and are they following that?
I can't answer that question. That's before my time. And I'm under the Department of Commerce. So I don't have a lot of information about the Department of Labor. I can look it up, but I don't have it with me right now.
Oh, so you don't really work with employers just like underneath the Department of Labor
I can
or
work with
anything like
any
that?
employer, basically, that's in my region. But I don't know about
Okay.
the background. I don't know about the background check. That's new. I made a note about that, and I'll look into it.
I feel like I can help with that question a little bit. If you can send us that bill, that'd be great, so we could let employers know about it if they don't. But a lot of employers in our area that do background checks, they do the West Virginia CARES and the variance process. And a lot of times they hire folks. the ones that do work, the employers that do work with that process hire people and are background friendly because they allow them to present more information on being rehabilitated. And usually they pass it. But also sometimes if they fail it, I have known employers to hire somebody and then fire them when their background check came back. So I hear it from two different ways, but I feel like if that's something that we don't know about, that employers don't know about, just like wage reimbursement, many employers do not know that about on-the-job training or wage reimbursement through Jobs and Hope. So that's why me and Deb try to work together with employers to let them know about the bonding and the wage reimbursement, because I think it's beneficial for an employer to hire somebody that comes with all of these freebies as opposed to somebody that doesn't. And it's a selling point during interviews. So that's another thing that still a lot of employers do not know about. So it could just be some use it, some don't, and some don't know about it.
And they do, and employees or applicants do have to self-identify. Dominique, do you know the form? Is it form 5884? There's a form they have to attach to. Again, I'm not as well versed with the work opportunity tax credit, but I know that individuals have to self-identify. There are questions you cannot ask in an interview, or you can't ask the employees legally, but if they self-identify, you can get those tax credits. So I'm on irs.gov and I'm under work opportunity tax credit. If you look on that website, it can tell you a lot of information about that.
I have just a super quick input, partially with what Dominique was talking about in the question about background checks. If you are working with someone who has a criminal record or an abuse and neglect or an elder abuse or a Medicare fraud kind of background, I would become very well versed in the West Virginia CARES Act, because it is most common from what I've seen that someone will be employed and then within 6 weeks, those background checks come back and you can be released from your job after working 6 weeks. So just something to be aware of. It's very common. People get very excited that they're hired and they're working and they're doing very well. And then you are released typically around that 6-week point. And then you have to go through the variance process, which takes a couple of months sometimes. And you have to jump through a lot of hoops quickly. And there are a lot of deadlines. So if you're seeing concerns with background checks coming up, that would be just my personal recommendation, is be aware of deadlines for West Virginia CARES Act background checks. They're not always quick and they're not always fully accurate. So around that 6-week mark is when you will typically see, in my experience, someone being released from a job that they were hired for. So there is a lot of good information about West Virginia CARES. I know it's not fully the topic of our presentation today, but there are a lot of good resources on DHS website. I would download some of those brochures and share them with people that you are helping with employment, because it is something to be aware of, that just because you're hired doesn't mean your background's going to come back around, and it can bite you and it can be really hard to overcome. So it's just my experience. I'm seeing a lot of it.
Sorry about that. Yeah, a lot of the businesses that I speak with do the West Virginia CARES background. If you're working with anybody that, I guess, a client or patient level, they do that, and they must pass them. Some will work with a variance, some will not. Depends on the employer.
Does anyone have questions in the room? What about online? Does anybody else have any questions for Deb? I also was thinking, I said we should, if Kenny could send that information to us, a lot of times, instead of educating the employers, I educate my client and let my clients know that this is a selling point during an interview. Don't go in there and say, I have a felony. A lot of times people do that. And I try to explain to them, you don't have to answer things that they don't ask. And then also I try to say, don't forget that you have the tax credits, the bonding, and the wage reimbursement. So those are all selling points for you at an interview that you can tell the employer, like, if you feel like the interview's not going great or you might not get the job. Those are all things that you can sell to the employer to get them to give you a chance or hire you.
I have a quick request. Hi, Deb.
Hi, Shannon.
So when are you had offered that you could actually work with specific agencies to help train on that virtual job fair? And could you also do like a presentation? Is that something that we might be able to work out whenever we are fully staffed?
Yeah, I can. Yes, I can absolutely do a presentation. As far as the virtual job fair is concerned, when I can see the chat, I can't see the chat right now, but I can actually upload flyers or I can send them to Dominique and she can distribute them. You do have to register every month, but you will get a reminder once you have registered. If you know you're going to be hiring, I say just go ahead and register because sometimes it's easy to forget. You get busy in the month. And then you'll get a reminder, hey, the virtual job fair starts this week. It'll tell you when to be live on the event. And the good thing is, let's just say, Dominique, say you register because you know you're going to be hiring for your business, but you're going to be somewhere that day. Dominique's always somewhere. Okay. You're going to be somewhere that day. You can, as long as someone in your business has the link, somebody else can attend the virtual job fair. And you don't have to sit there intent on the screen for 3.5 hours. You can do your work. And then if somebody pops into the chat and wants to ask a question, you can then go to the chat. So that's the great thing because you save money, time. You don't have to drive to the event, to the virtual, to a job fair. And that's the same as with employees. You don't have to, just sit there for 3.5 hours. You can do your work. And then if somebody pops into your booth, then you answer questions and go back to your work. That's what's so great about the virtual job fair. It's a win-win on both sides for that. And some of the job seekers, and those of you who work with job seekers know, they can get really nervous during that initial during an interview. So if they are able to chat with someone online, which a lot of people are comfortable with, that breaks the ice so that when they do set up an interview, they've already had some contact. I told people the other day, I said, go in there, even if you're not available for a job now, but it's a company that you're really interested in, ask questions. It shows them that you're proactive. It shows them that you're really interested. And if they invite you to an interview and you just can't do it because some people are working through a program, just let them know, hey, I'm going to be available to work this date. So I'm not available to work right now, but I do want to know about your company and I'm showing a lot of interest. So again, my job is to work with businesses, but I'm very open to working with some of your job seekers and to help them and let them know about the job fair. And I do have flyers, by the way. You can make copies of them and give them to your job seekers. So
I also put the construction and trades flyer in the chat. Can everybody see that? We can't see it. It's not opening over here, but can you guys see it that are online? Because that's going to be on January 12th. It's on Monday. And
I can see it.
Okay, great. All of the unions are coming together in Kanawha County to do this job fair. And unions are very background friendly. They have great retirement. They have great benefits. And if somebody wants to work in the trades, I know we met with the Department of Labor or somebody, it's been probably a year ago, but they told us that they were like over 400,000 people is how many they needed in the state of West Virginia for all the infrastructure that was coming in. And they are always desperate for workers. I mean, sometimes the guy from the union will text me and say, I need 400 people. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's huge. So I also always push the unions because West Virginia Workforce still works with them to do the hiring. And there are so many different things that they can do. There's also a really good video that you can watch that shows all the different unions and all the different things that each job entails. and I can't, I'll try to find that and send it out to everybody because that's really good to send out too, because then they can see what all the different things are that you can apply for through the unions.
And
But
the,
that's
the pay is
Monday.
great, by the way. I think at the apprentice level, what is it, 60% of, is it 60% of the pay at the apprentice level? And then once you get through that, but the pay and
Yeah.
benefits are fantastic.
And you become a journeyman, but there's always room to grow. And there's so many different ways that you can go and different opportunities that you can move up. And also sometimes the unions just hire at certain times. So like the electrical union or the heavy equipment union only hire in January or something like that. I'm just saying, like, giving you an example. This hiring fair has all of those places and they're hiring right now instead of just the one time a year. So I have offered this to my clients and offered to help with a transportation to get there if they needed to get to Kanawha County. So yeah, it's on Monday. So I just wanted to get that in the chat so you guys could see that.
That's in
Anybody?
Charleston, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I will get the information that Deb has promised to send to us. Kenny, if you can send that legislation to us, that'd be awesome too. And a while ago, we had an event. It's been years ago, but it was called Why Hire a Felon, which I know sounds kind of a crazy name, but we got a lot of employers to come to that. And what we did was educated the employers on all of the things that Deb's talked about today, to let employers know. So really, we just need to get more employers involved and get the word out, because I just feel like they're so busy running their businesses and working, they don't know about the benefits that they have that are free. So let employers know and connect them with Deb if you have an employer that wants to work with folks or our.
And please reach out to me and we can just have a conversation. I can bring information to you. We can have a conversation about your work needs. And like I said, we usually just deal with businesses, but because I'm so used to working with clients, I'm very happy to come and talk to your clients or consumers that are looking for work and tell them how to get into the MAC, teach them step by step, and tell them about the virtual job fair. I will send flyers for both employers and for job seekers, Dominique, and then you can share those with the group.
Great. Okay. Does anybody, thank you so much, Deb, for your time today. And sorry about the technical issues at the beginning, but we made it through. Does anybody have any events or any burning desire to tell us something possibly that's coming up that we need to know?
Well, I actually got an update this morning. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like DRS is going to be updating their 2-year plan, which they're required to do. Keep an eye on their website, because as soon as the public viewing and comment begin, which will be at the end of January, it'll be posted on their website. And that's a good opportunity for people to be able to look at West Virginia DRS's state plan, what they're, going to be doing, what changes they're planning on making. And because, once it's posted on their website, that will be, that's when the public comment starts. That's a good time for people to be able to give their input. And it looks like there's going to be a virtual public meeting in February. And as details come out, I'll make sure to tell all the reentry councils about it. But because DRS works so closely with with individuals going through reentry and it's the population of people with disabilities and the population of people who have been justice impacted are pretty overlapping. It'd be a good way for people to be able to keep an eye on what's going on and be up to date on what's going on and be able to give their input.
Absolutely.
Thank you. In addition, and thank you, Aaliyah, that as of March the 1st, our OS codes for 2 and 3 will be open, which basically means that we'll no longer just be serving the most significant disabled, but we'll be opening that up to people with significant disabilities as well. So OS codes 2 and 3 will be open. So out of our 4 codes, OS codes, order selection codes, 1, 2, and 3 will be open by March the 1st. So, you know, we've never discouraged anyone from applying. We've always taken them. Some of them have been on the waiting list. That would be the ones that are significantly disabled rather than the most significantly disabled. But yeah, so just to go along with what Aaliyah and Deb had mentioned earlier.
Thank you, Shannon. That's wonderful news. Wendy, you had something?
I just want to say the final reading for city council to contract with waste management to take over the Parkersburg sanitation is going to be this Tuesday at 7:30. And I would certainly encourage anybody who's following that to participate, keep reaching out to your city councilors, come to the meetings. But I mean, it's a pretty permanent change for Parkersburg.
Okay, thank you so much, Wendy. All right.
We have a couple of super quick, sorry, Dominique.
Oh, go ahead.
Just a couple of quick legal aid ones. One, legal aid has been experiencing a lot of calls after the holidays. So if you have participants who you refer to legal aid, our phone number is the same. A couple of people have asked me, they're confused. Our headquarter Charleston office has moved locations, but our intake number is the same. We are open now following the holidays. So anybody who's experiencing delays, we've just gotten a couple of reports. People have called me. We're functioning. Our main office did move within Charleston, but everything is the same with our intake. And Dominique, this is really more your announcement, but the Jobs and Hope, Day of Hope, is January 20th. I'll let you talk more about it, but I'll be there with a legal aid table with some good information. I look forward to hopefully meeting some of you in person at that event. Dominique, you should know probably way more about it than me. I'm very behind, but I'm excited to go. So I think that'll be a great event, especially for people looking for employment or partner agencies and connections, as well as people who have been employed and graduated from your programs. I think it'll be really cool to see everyone.
Absolutely. So the Day of Hope is we're partnering with the Office of Drug Control Policy, and we're having a Day of Hope at the Capitol. We talked about it last month. During legislative session, many people have different days like Reentry Day and several different things. But Jobs and Hope is going to have their own day at the Capitol where we want all of our partners, all of our current participants, all of our graduates to come and just show support, show legislators how many people are impacted by Jobs in Hope West Virginia, employers, partners, whoever. We would love to have you. If you are in the Wood County area and you want to carpool with me, I'd be happy to do that. And then also I have offered, if you're a Jobs in Hope participant and you need transportation, to let me know. So we want just as many people to come as possible. And I think I've sent it to most of the partners and invited you if you wanted to set up a table. We had 55 spots filled for tables, but we still had like 10 more spots like 2 days ago. So I don't know if that's still the same or not, but if you want to get registered and have a table at our Day of Hope at the Capitol, that would be amazing. And as soon as I get off of here and get on my actual computer, I will send you guys the information again so you can get registered or have all the times and details.
And
Thanks.
real quick, Dominic. Monday, the 12th at 10 a.m., our West Virginia Criminal Law Reform Coalition is having a press conference at the Capitol, and we're inviting anybody who can attend to attend. We have some speakers such as Tim DePiro, who's a defense attorney based out of Charleston, but also works within Mount Olive through Catalyst Ministries, as well as Mary Lister, whose son is incarcerated at Mount Olive. And we're outlining our legislative kind of priorities and talking points against against some of the negative things that have been in recent years coming out of the legislature around policies like second look, compassionate release, medical respite, things of that nature. And then also, the Criminal Law Reform Coalition has a Facebook page. So we encourage everyone to search the West Virginia Criminal Law Reform Coalition or go to facebook.com /WVCLRC for our Facebook page and join in. And you're welcome to post anything on there related to events, articles, even what you do in your organizations and things of that nature. And we're also having our Leading for Justice Advocacy Day on March the 2nd, where we're trying to get as many people within the state that's directly impacted, friends, family members, formerly incarcerated, advocates, people that work with those communities, to show up and create a presence to the legislature that we need them to be proactive, not reactive, and really create policies that help people instead of creating more harms or constantly punishing somebody for who they were and not who they are now.
Absolutely. I think the best thing, Kenny, would be if you could, can you like email me the list of those days and I can send them out to everybody? And Jonathan can help me with that too, maybe.
Sure.
Send many different days. And then the link for the website would be great, and I'll get it out to everyone. I think it's always important for all the days at the Capitol for everybody to show up for all of the different things, because that's the time that our voices are heard. That's when they're making decisions that our voices need to be heard. So obviously all the work we do, there are barriers when it comes to legislative issues. So we want to keep going forward. So thanks always for giving us the updates on that, Kenny. I put in the chat, if you would like to be a presenter for the 2026 year for the Reentry Council, Mid-Ohio Valley Reentry Council, please message me. Or if you have somebody that is in reentry that would like to share their story with us, every other month we try to showcase people that are in reentry that are successful. And that's pretty much it. As long as everybody else is good, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. You guys have a great day and a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.